All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashen. This morning I'm thinking about self sabotage, and I'm reflecting on the ways in which I've seen my clients and my students self sabotage. And, you know, quite honestly, I look at my own life and I reflect on the ways in which I have self sabotaged over the years. And I want to share this lesson with the hope that it will be useful to you in your pursuit of authentic happiness and the fulfillment of your destiny. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons why this came to mind is because I came in contact with one of my haters, as we would say. There's some people who they have like you know how when a dog sees the mailman and they just get rabid. They become totally irrational, right? They just start to bark and bark and bark and bark uncontrollably. There are people who are like that, right? And they see my face or they hear my name and they just lose it, right? And in this instance, these in most instances, really, these people are unfortunately failing. They're living very unfulfilled lives. They're you know, and so when I reflect upon it, I say, wow, this person, they know. I've given they've been exposed to my teachings long enough to be able to take them up, even though we're contemporaries. And in a couple of instances, they're maybe even a little bit senior to me, but they've been privy to my teachings long enough to know that they're real and that they're correct. So I start to think, well, why do people reject the truth, the reality of my teachings at their own expense? Why do you sabotage your own progress and fulfillment in the face of what obviously is real and works? And I'm going to tell you what it is. Because what I'm saying is really simple. It's really simple. It's not oversimplified, but it's really simple. Okay? Practice self-discovery. Get trained before you get initiated. Establish a practice, and your practice consists of the calendar, the prayers, the basic offerings of obi and water and gin and palm oil. Right? Boom. It's that basic. Like everything I have presented in the way of a practice and an approach to this tradition is very clear and very simple. But that precisely is why people reject it. That's precisely why people have this visceral, aggression towards what I'm saying. And you say, well, why? How does that doesn't make sense? You're making it plain. You're giving us the straight coordinates. Why should that be a problem? It's a problem because when things are very, very simple and very clear, now you have no excuse for not doing it. Right? Now you have no excuse for not being able to understand why you didn't get the desired outcomes. Because it's super clear. There's only 5 steps. Right? And so when you complicate things on the other end of the spectrum, the more complex things are, the more layers that you put into something, the more hocus pocus and razzle dazzle that you throw into the mix, the easier it is to find somebody or something to blame. Right? See, you follow what I'm teaching, you can't blame the witches. If you follow what I'm teaching, you can't blame your enemies. It can't boil down to, oh yeah, well, my enemies. Mm-mm. If you follow what I'm teaching, you can't say it was because the Babalawo this or the Iyalorisha that. Nope. There are no excuses if you follow my teachings. And that terrifies people. That scares people because, again, it keeps putting, you know, the mirror before you to say, this is really what happened. This is really what you did and what you did not do. And that's why you have these gaps. So if you follow my teachings, it's there's a higher level of accountability. And people don't want that. Some people don't want that. Some people are terrified of that. Some people, they see that mirror and they have to hold themselves accountable, and they're just overwhelmed. They're terrified of that. And they're more terrified of accountability than they are inspired by fulfillment. And so I'm sharing this lesson with you today because I want you to decide today that you want it more than you're afraid of it. That you want success, you want fulfillment, you want to satisfy your destiny more than you're afraid of holding yourself accountable. You want to be successful more than you're afraid of taking a real true assessment of where the holes and the gaps in your practice are. That's what I want you to decide today. I want you to come to the conclusion that it's far better to struggle and toil with yourself than it is to delude yourself with beads and pots and titles and trinkets and doodads and witches and warlocks and enemies and all that. Forget all that. Put all of those things in their proper place is what I really mean. Put those things where they belong. Beneath your Ori. All of those things are a distant second to the importance of your Ori. And I don't mean your logic, your reasoning, your intelligence. I mean your destiny. Decide that you have more faith in your destiny than you have in anything else. And understand that as soon as you align with your destiny, then the simplicity and the clarity of my teachings is going to become that much more valuable to you. Okay? And as always, this is a message for the leaders. This is a lesson for the leaders. I'm looking for people who are ready, willing, and able to improve the world through positive influence. If you're one of those people, I want you to find out how Obafemi Origunwa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the next level. Please visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com, and let's start helping you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.